All right, let's get you some analysis on the story now. Legal analyst Melusi Xulu joins us via our video link. Melusi, to break down some of the intricacies involved in the case now. We heard a lot of dates being announced in court. What do you make of this first appearance?
Good afternoon, Michelle, and to the viewers at home. What I make of the first appearance is that it's now clear that the accused will appear and the normal processes will now be started. For example, next week on the 6th is for bail address verification, which is important when you're applying for bail to say where you will stay. But because it's such a high-profile case and there are so many issues, it has been set down for 3 days after the 6th, so that if there are issues and there needs more time for bail application is ahead then. But my understanding is also that there are 2 or 3 who are already convicted, so I don't think they will do bail. But there's one who handed himself over, I think yesterday, the 7th accused. So possibly it's 2 or 3 who are applying for bail, not all of them.
Yeah. So there are 2 major issues probably at the top of mind for people who are watching this case, Melusi. The one is the extradition process, and the second one, which Police Minister Behicele actually dealt with when he gave a briefing on the sidelines of this court appearance, is faith in the ability of police and in the work of the NPA to ensure that this case is tried successfully, essentially. Let's deal with that second issue, faith in the justice system. And of course, you know, when we think of this, we think of Senzo Meyiwa and the fact that this trial and his murder is now in its 10th year. Yes,
Michelle, obviously it's all about optics right now and hoping that they've got the right people. My take is the faith in the justice system is based on 2 things. The first thing is the right culprits are arrested and so forth, but also is that they are tried and they also given their constitutional rights as well. So that is the justice system works for everyone, whether it's the accused, the victim, or the family of the deceased and so forth. So we've always had faith in that, but I think that's my thinking. He's trying to say, as much as there might have been issues in other high-profile cases, like the Meyiwa case, we've arrested the people who might be the suspects or who are the accused in this AKA case. So he's saying, at least give us some credit for that. But at the end of the day, that's their job. We can't praise a fish for swimming. So they must just do their job.
Indeed.
And not want to be praised for that.
Yeah. And then, of course, there's the issue of the extradition of 2 of the suspects, right? These are 2 brothers that have also been arrested in connection with the murder of AKA and Tebello Motsoane. And again, we think of sort of the context within which this happens. We think of our previous experience as a country insofar as extradition is concerned. The Gupta case comes to mind as well. Do you reckon, insofar as our relations with Eswatini, that this will be just a matter of sort of crossing our T's and dotting our I's?
I think this one is a bit different. I mean, if you go to the Gupta case, the country that needed to work with us on extradition agreements couldn't really work with us the right way. There were some issues. If you go to the Tanzania case for Besta and Dr. Nandipa, it was a deportation, but there was an argument that it was an extradition disguised as a deportation. In this case, we do have an agreement with the Kingdom of Eswatini because we are under the SADC, which is the Southern African Democratic Community. So there's an extradition agreement that we have with them. And I think if it's done properly, we'll of course have the accused coming back to South Africa in Durban to be charged and tried as the accused. So it's simply the fact that an extradition, if we remember, is where if we have an agreement with that country that if one of the accused in our country escapes to their country, can they bring them back, vice versa. So I think if that agreement is in place, it's not going to be a problem.
Yeah. Melusi, a number of the accused, and you've already mentioned this, already face a slew of charges. Some of them are already serving sentences. Does that help or hinder this case? What do you make of how that perhaps impacts the case insofar as AKA and Tebello Motsoane is concerned?
at the end of the day, it's all about evidence. Whether the accused is already convicted is a different case altogether. My interest in this matter, Michelle, would be, it's the same thoughts I've been having that Mr. Forbes has, that at the end of the day, yes, these accused have been arrested, some of them, they are convicted, some of you have just been arrested this week. But who is the mastermind, not the coordinator? I think that's all that we are interested in, beyond these accused that we've seen in court and the ones that will still come. Who is the mastermind? Who's the mastermind? Who had it in for AKA? That's what is on the mind of everyone, because it's going to be similar to the Mayua case, because that's where we have the 5 accused, but we don't know exactly. We can speculate, but we don't know. We don't have evidence on who's the mastermind.
Yeah, and it speaks to the issue of KZN being a haven for hitmen, right? It's becoming more and more easy to hire hitmen for the purposes of committing murder. And it's not just about getting the mastermind in the AKA murder case, but it speaks to sort of getting a handle on the industry, right? When you are able to get a mastermind and not just the person who was paid to coordinate a hit, perhaps that's a deterrent for future such hit cases.
Yeah. Well, I saw something very interesting, I think, in the last few days after this arrest of being made. I think it's one of the officials, if not the minister, who was talking about having a hit, a case where, you know, it deals with hits where people are being assassinated. Maybe it should be a specialized department under the police and in court. Maybe that can assist, because, as you are saying, it's becoming a deterrent and it's becoming something that is a KZN thing. If you want someone to be killed, you simply get someone from KZN. It looks like that is what is happening. Even if that person that you want to be killed is in Cape Town, someone will come from KZN. It happened in Cape Town, and I think recently, last year, it happened in Northwest, where there was a businessman who was killed, and the people or the person who killed him was from KZN. So it gives you that thing that maybe this thing needs to be contained, and there needs to be some specialized department and course, but it will be up to the Department of Justice and NPA and SAPS to see if they really do need it or not.
Yeah, absolutely. Atlenda Mate, who speaks on behalf of police, saying that police have been quite tight-lipped. They've handled this case and they've limited communication for the sole purposes of ensuring the integrity of the investigation. From what she's saying, it sounds like police wanted to be sure before they even effected these arrests.
I think I'll applaud the police for not making this, a circus of a sort and try to make themselves the center of it all. If they've applied the law correctly and they've done well in making sure that the constitutional rights of the accuser are respected as well, and they did not flout any procedures, I think they've done well. And by keeping quiet, they didn't send any alarm bells. So I think that was a good strategy. Maybe going forward, that's what they need to do. Yes, you do need to announce certain things in reports, but you just make sure that the things that might hamper your case in an investigation, you don't give it out. I think they were able to do that very well, and I think they must be applauded.
Melusi Xulu is a legal analyst. Thanks so much for your thoughts on what is one of the big developing stories that we're tracking this afternoon.